Britain and EU will fail to strike a deal unless Theresa May makes concessions, says Leo Varadkar. Leo Varadkar issued his threat ahead of a face-to-face meeting with Theresa May as the Prime Minister was dragged into a new row over customs arrangements with the EU. But the Taoiseach's intervention has provided a boost for Brexit campaigners who fear that a deal will unnecessarily lock Britain to EU rules and drag down its economy. Meanwhile, critics of Mr. Varadkar have claimed he has overplayed his hand and threatens to cause severe damage to Ireland, which has the most to lose from no deal. Writing for the political forum Politía, former Irish Ambassador Ray Bassett said, "The Irish government is currently engaged on a high-risk strategy which could backfire badly. If we are not making real and substantial progress by June, then we need to seriously question whether we are going to have a withdrawal agreement at all." Taoiseach Leo Varadkar. Taoiseach Mr. Varadkar told the Irish Times, "If we are not making real and substantial progress by June, then we need to seriously question whether we are going to have a withdrawal agreement at all. We stand by the text of the withdrawal agreement and the text of the protocol published in March, as does the task force and the 27 member states that are behind us." After his meeting with Mrs. May, Mr. Varadkar then added fuel to concerns that the UK Prime Minister is preparing a backstop solution of Britain staying even longer under Brussels rule in a customs union beyond the end of the 2020 implementation period. He told journalists, "I said to the Prime Minister that any move that helped to align all of the EU and the UK in terms of customs into the future would be beneficial." The Irish Taoiseach Leo Varadkar issued the threat ahead of a face-to-face meeting with Theresa May. "It would help solve some of the problems related to the border, but not all of them. It would certainly help us continue to trade between Britain and Ireland much as we do now." He said he was not discouraged when Mrs. May verbally and conceptually outlined her thinking. But the Prime Minister denied claims that she will stay in a customs union with the EU beyond the transition period. After a three-way meeting with Donald Tusk, President of the European Council, and European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker, she said she would shortly present her own proposal on the backstop solution to the Irish border issue. A Number 10 spokeswoman said, "The leaders discussed the positive progress that had been made in the talks so far, including agreements on citizens' rights and other matters." The Prime Minister reiterated the UK's commitment to the joint report agreed in December. She said the proposal put forward by the European Commission in relation to the Ireland and Northern Ireland border was unacceptable. The Prime Minister said that the UK would shortly put forward its own backstop proposal in relation to customs. Number 10 denied reports reported that Britain will tell the European Union it is prepared to stay tied to the customs union beyond 2020 as a last resort to avoid a hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland. Downing Street sources insisted there was not a proposal discussed or agreed that would see us staying in the customs union beyond the implementation period, which is due to expire at the end of 2020. Arriving at the EU Western Balkans summit in the Bulgarian capital Sofia, Mrs. May denied climbing down over membership of the customs union. She said, "No, we are not climbing down. The United Kingdom will be leaving the customs union. We are leaving the European Union. Of course we will be negotiating future customs arrangements with the European Union, and I have set 3 objectives. The government has 3 objectives in those. We need to be able to have our own independent trade policy. We want as frictionless a border between the UK and the EU so that trade can continue, and we want to ensure there is no hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland." Getty. Jacob Rees-Mogg warned that the solution of staying in a customs union would be unacceptable. Leading Brexit territory MP Jacob Rees-Mogg warned that the solution of staying even longer in a customs union would be unacceptable. He said, "The risk of the government using all its mental energy on the fallback position is that it creates a position that is more attractive than the permanent deal. We have gone from a clear end point to extension, to a proposed further extension with no end point. The horizon seems almost unreachable. The bottom of the rainbow seems to be unattainable. People voted to leave, they did not vote for purgatory."